Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Classic Scares Club. I'm Brianna's Bookshelf, and we're hosting it on my channel today. Would you lovely ladies like to introduce yourselves? You could start with Alicia.
I'm Alicia from Alicia Runs and Reads. I read a lot of horror and fantasy and a good amount of all sorts of stuff on my channel.
Awesome. Angel, you want to go next?
Thanks. I'm Angel. My channel is Angel Can't Read, and I read mostly horror, but a lot of other like sci-fi, thrillers, a little bit of fantasy, a little bit of everything.
Awesome. Brooklyn.
Hello, everybody. My name is Brooklyn, or Brooke, whatever you want to call me, who cares? From the Brooke Report or Brooke Report, I read horror and lesbians. Pretty much that's it.
Love that. Thank you. Okay, so our book that we're discussing today is The Willows by Algernon Blackwood. It's a nice little novella, kind of a shorty, but it's a fun one. So shall we start with like non-spoilers, just like what our kind of baseline thoughts are and perhaps ratings?
Sure. Do you want to give a brief synopsis just in case anybody doesn't know?
Oh, good point. Thank you. Yes, let's do it. Okay, so the synopsis is that we're following two men who are taking like a canoe trip down the Danube River. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce
I
it.
don't know how you say it.
But I think it like starts in Germany. And the river is like flooding and they have to stop overnight on an island in the middle of the river, and the island is like filled with these willow trees, and the men have this kind of impending sense of doom that they can't really like pinpoint where it's coming from to start with, and then they just continue to feel this sense of doom, and I feel like that's all I can say without spoilers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like that's really encapsulates it.
Thank you.
All right. I think I gave it a 4.
4?
I think so, yeah. I think that's what I ended up giving it. I liked it. And it was short too, so, even though you don't really know exactly what's going on, it wasn't like you got lost in the sauce for too long. Mm-hmm. So I really liked that. I liked where it went. And some of the writing is really good too. Like just good lines that I highlighted and things. So I gave it a 4.
Nice.
Yeah, I also gave it a 4, and I really liked the writing. I had read one book from this author before, but it was a while ago, so I don't really remember it. But I would say I was like pleasantly surprised that the writing was like really enjoyable, and I liked how descriptive everything was. I feel like for how short it was kind of just like perfectly, I don't know, what it meant to be. Enjoyed.
Me? My turn?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I liked it. Personally, I thought that the language was kind of difficult for myself to digest. I am also kind of going through a little bit of a reading slump, so I'm sure that doesn't help. Mm-hmm. I settled on a 3 for this because it was giving wordy to me, and I did like the story, but it also, I don't know, it just felt very 3-star to me. Not bad, but not the best that I've ever read.
It's valid.
I totally understand that. And I think that I'm going to go with a 3.5. This was a reread for me, and the first time I read it, I gave it 3 stars, and I think it was just like super middle of the road, but I feel like revisiting it and like also having this illustrated edition with the like notes from the editor really helped improve my experience. But it still wasn't like a favorite, but I did really enjoy it, and yeah, I think the writing is cool.
Yeah, I'm intrigued by that, like what the illustrations are inside that. Obviously, I just had no public domain.
Show you during spoilers, I guess.
Yeah, we can spoil it in a minute.
I got this from the used bookstore, and I was debating on getting the copy that Alicia and Brianna has, but I settled on this one because this one was a baby little $5, and that one was basically full price at $18. So I
Oh my
said,
god.
for free on Kindle or on physical for $5. But I did flip through and saw some of the pictures. I was like, okay, gorgeous, stunning. And also, this kind of looks like hands folding.
Ooh.
Oh, I can see what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's an interesting cover for sure.
Mhm.
I like the foot.
Simple.
Did you read the introduction in this one, Brianna?
Yes, I did, and I liked it. What did you think?
I did. I liked that too. But I was like, I started reading it, and then I was like, no, I'm gonna read the story first because like I didn't want to.
Yeah.
A lot of times they spoil things, which they kind of do because they compared it to some things.
Right.
Mm.
I appreciated that it was like fairly short introduction and that was like pretty to the point. I feel like sometimes with classics that have introductions, it just goes on forever and it's like its own thing. But this was nice and to the point, so I liked that.
Who was the introduction written by?
Ruthana Emrys.
Don't know who that is.
I'm not sure what that is.
It says in the back that she wrote A Half-Built Garden, Wintertide, and Deep Roots. I've never heard of any of those.
And she lives on the outskirts of Washington D.C. with her wife.
Nice.
Horror and lesbians.
Perfect.
Very much in
Does
my.
that improve your rating?
What did you say?
I said, does that improve your rating?
Yes, I'm gonna have to bump it up to solid 4.
As the introduction.
Nice.
I didn't get to read the introduction. Mine just goes directly into
Yeah, same.
after leaving Vienna.
Yeah, the beginning of it, I was like, oh no, I'm bored.
That was so
And they're just like going down the river. I'm like, is this just an adventure story about some dudes floating down the river?
Yeah, it really like drops you in at a weird point.
Yeah, it did take me like a minute to get into it, but then once I was in it, I was like, okay, I really like this.
Yeah.
But I do think, I mean, as much as I like the writing and the descriptiveness, I can see like it was a little bit repetitive at points, but I still enjoyed it. So clearly that didn't matter to me.
I have a question for you guys. Did any of you read this outside?
No, I was like, I could easily go to the park and go sit by the river and read this. But it was kind of like, I don't know, it's been really windy and a little chilly here recently. So
Nice. I think it would be so creepy to though, like go out and read this like in the woods.
Yeah.
Or like by a river where there's like nobody around.
I feel like it's a really good like summer read.
It's a good paranoia, like by yourself.
Yeah, like a camping book.
Yeah, it would be a really good camping story.
So I didn't read it outside, but a few days ago I ended up going to the river nearby just to like, I was looking for cool rocks. But there was like hardly anyone there and there was a lot of willows, so that was interesting. But it was like the middle of the day and I was like, yeah, I don't really see the scary vibes, but if you're like isolated and in a flood, I could see that for sure. How would be creepier?
Yeah. I read this outside, and of course my lawn is super high. So it gave the vibes. But it's also super sunny and hot.
Yeah.
It was a nice balance.
Nice. Did any of y'all look into the author at all or like know anything about him?
No, I saw that he wrote another story that I was interested in reading, but I don't know what it's about. Just the title, The Wendigo. I was like, that's intriguing to me.
That's the one that I read. I think I gave it 3.5 stars or something. I don't know. I remember enjoying it, but I don't remember much.
That's fair.
That seems regarded as a luminary in the weird fiction genre. So I'm like, ooh. Yeah, it's definitely a weird one.
I feel like there was definitely like notes of cosmic horror in here, which I find interesting because that often gets like credited to Lovecraft.
Right.
I feel like he had it in here too. So
is this pre or is this around the same?
I think it's pre, because so I looked him up a little bit, and
I'm curious
H.P.
now.
Lovecraft called him a modern master. So I think like
Ooh.
he inspired H.P. Lovecraft a little bit, maybe.
And then he just went and took credit for it. Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
'cause it read very like Lovecraftian towards the end, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, I also found out a couple of other interesting facts about him. He had like a ton of different jobs, which is really random, but he was a dairy farmer, operated a hotel. He was also a reporter for the New York Times at one time, and he was a violin teacher.
Interesting.
A man of many talents.
Oh, literally so many lives he has lived.
Right? And also, like, his Wikipedia page said that he was a mystic who's like was interested in different types of religions and an outdoorsman. So I could definitely see how those things combined for this story.
Yeah.
Definitely. That's cool. I did not know that.
Do you guys watch Alone, or have you heard of the show?
Is
No.
that like the survival show? Or is that
Yeah.
Yeah?
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You
I
were talking
watched-
about that on with somebody. Who were you talking about with Spooky?
With Lauren
Yeah.
from Haunted Hearts Library. Yeah, we were talking about
Sprints or something.
Yeah, for sprints. Yeah, this kind of gave me Alone vibes. Like I could definitely see them. For those of you who don't know, it's like a survival competition show. So each person goes out solo with only like a handful of tools, and they have to survive in the wilderness as long as they can. A lot of the time, I know there was one in the Washington cold woodsy, like I don't know what it's called, whatever. Okay, so they have to just survive as long as they can, and whoever can survive the longest wins the competition and wins like a certain amount of money. And my wife is super addicted to that show, so I kind of was thinking of them out there, thinking how they probably are going a little bit crazy out there, seeing things and whatnot.
Yeah, I bet. That sounds like it would be so creepy
Mm,
to be experiencing.
yeah, I could never do that.
All right, should we get into some more spoilers? Spoilery thoughts?
Let's get into it.
All right, spoilers ahead. Let's go.
We should have a little banner next time. Spoilers.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
I think the first thing I underlined was when the Hungarian officers like, you may find yourselves when the flood subsides 40 miles from anywhere, high and dry, and you may easily starve. There are no people, no farms, no fishermen. I warn you not to continue. I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
That's a harsh
Like,
warning.
you've been warned for sure.
Yeah.
And then I also thought it was funny how his companion or whatever they call him, what does he call him?
The Swede.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who he like starts the very beginning is like he has no imagination. And then every like other page in the book, it's like, hello, he has way more imagination than you do. Like,
Definitely.
Yeah.
I thought they were such like a funny pairing. Like I want to know the backstory of like how do these people know each other and like why are they even on the river together? It's
Yeah.
just so random.
And I do think it's interesting that they don't really have names throughout the book.
Definitely.
Interesting choice. But then I feel like you still, I don't know, get to know them.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't really take you out of the story.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
Yeah, that is an interesting choice for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have anything spoilery to say, to be quite honest with you guys. I just was like, oh, this is a story. and it was creepy. I did like it. It was very well, like I said, it was like medium. Didn't love it, didn't hate it, just medium. It was a story. I could definitely see how this inspired many things. I would feel the same way, going cuckoo bananas out here, seeing things, especially like when it's dark out. I feel like I kind of like you kind of like fill in the blanks
Yeah.
as to what's around. So I can imagine being in the woods and in the Willows, because they kind of like sway and move and everything. That would be freaky as hell. So
Yeah. So my thing is like, do we think that it was all in their heads and they were just playing off each other, being paranoid, or do we think something was actually going on?
No, it's such a good question.
Yeah, I had that thought, and I was wondering if we would discuss that. I don't know. I feel like I could see it either way.
Mm-hmm.
But then also, like you were saying, when they get that warning, the lady tells them, "No one ever landed here because it belonged to some sort of being outside man's world," or that was like his thought. And so, I don't know. I feel like it's possible that they were making it up. That's what I really liked, is that it does kind of play into that, like how your anxiety and like fear, and when you think about something, it kind of manifests. And there was also a quote that I liked when he's like looking out of the tent at night and he's like seeing all these shapes, and he says, "I stared, trying to force every atom of vision from my eyes." I was like, I feel that. Like, I've definitely had moments like that where you're just like, is that actually there, or like, am I tripping?
Yeah. And how the Swede was like, don't think about it, take it out of your mind, and then it's nothing bad is going to happen.
And I feel like at the beginning when they saw the otter and they thought it was like a body, I was like, was that just like a random thing, or is that like kind of foreshadowing of like, you know, the distorted reality that's going to come for them? So I feel like that's another thing that was done really well, is like, I don't know, the build up and the foreshadowing and just like building that sense of uneasiness.
And it comes back to the otter, like the very last line too.
Yeah.
It's like, so what was it? Was this man they found at the end a man or not?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a really weird aspect. Like, as soon as that was mentioned, I was like, how in the world would you think that an otter was a man? Like, they seem like such different sizes, but it really points out the frame of mind they were in from like the beginning, I think.
I think some otters can get pretty big.
Probably. I probably just haven't seen an otter.
South America, like, I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, you know what this reminded me of? Not in the, well, in this situation with the two guys and like kind of losing their minds a bit, not the vibes at all. It reminded me of that movie, The Lighthouse, with Robert Pattinson. That's going to be like a variant of this. Oh, this story in a beach setting. That movie was crazy. If you guys have not seen that, you need to watch it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
even them being like warned in the beginning could have like impacted their frame of mind. Like, people from that area thinking there's like superstitions or some sort of entity that lives there, that like put that in their head. So I feel like it even could further point to it all being in their head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I really liked when he like sees those shapes and stuff, and he says that I felt that I must fall down and worship, absolutely worship. I'm like, that's interesting. Just like feeling compelled by this thing that you have to worship it. That it, I don't know, kind of calls back to the old gods. I like that they both had like, one of them thought it was like the elements, and then what did the other person?
So that's one of the
something
like
different.
when he's seeing all the stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I like that.
I like how it goes around the text too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Gorgeous art.
Let's see. This was like the first one, just the setting of the river.
Also much bigger than what I was picturing this area for them to be at.
Yeah. These are their mustaches. See their mustaches.
Oh my gosh. With their little hats. Oh my god, that one guy looks so creepy.
Right? Oh, there's the birds.
Oh.
That's cool.
Yeah, those are gigantic. I would not be about it. Plus, like, how well could you really sleep? I know my mind would be making things up on lack of sleep.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, there was one part where they were like, oh, we can't think about it. And he was like, the safest thing to do is sleep. I was like, are we sure about that? Because I feel like it would just like come into your dreams because it would be like on your subconscious.
Yeah.
But, like, I would think that wouldn't be the safest thing, but then I also understand because if they stay awake, they're just going to think about it. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I was perplexed by that. I was like, how do you just fall asleep?
I was reading the Antimemetics Division when I was reading this too. And I was like, oh, this kind of reminds me of it because he's talking about like they don't want to be perceived, like whatever the beings are, don't want to be perceived. But once you see them, then they're going to come after you. And then just kind of like reminded me of that a little bit. And I was like, I think it's just because I was reading it at the same time.
I need to read that book.
What book was it again?
There is no Antimemetics Division. It's a sci-fi.
Oh, I don't think I've heard that one. But
I feel like I've had it on my TBR for a while, and then like recently I've been seeing like everybody's picking it up and reading it. Like, what's happening? I don't know. Maybe it got like republished. I think it got like cover or something. I don't know.
Is there what?
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, going back to her talking about like it plays on your anxiety and like what you see. The quote, I wrote down a lot of quotes because I really like them. When common objects in this way become charged with the suggestion of horror, they stimulate the imagination far more than things of unusual appearance. I feel like there's definitely some truth to that.
Yeah, I like that quote a lot.
Fills in a lot.
Mm-hmm.
The quote that I ended up writing down that I liked the best was, "The loneliness of the place had entered our very bones, and silence seemed natural. For after a bit the sound of our voices became a trifle unreal and forced. Whispering would have been the fitting mode of communication, I felt, and the human voice, always rather absurd amid the roar of the elements, now carried with it something almost illegitimate. It was like talking out loud in church, or in some place where it was not lawful, perhaps not quite safe to be overheard."
Yeah, I really like that quote as well. Just like,
and that's so true. Because I feel like when I go, like, say, like to a park or something, and it's just quiet. All you hear is like the sound of like the crickets and the frogs and stuff. I'm just like, I feel like I can't even talk right now because everything is so quiet.
yeah,
I get that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I do think it's really interesting though that they were just kind of in this place that had been pretty much untouched by humans. So I can definitely understand. I feel like it could have been all in their heads. So I think that would be a very unsettling feeling with the water rising and you don't know like how long the island's actually going to be there.
Right.
Like really windy, blowing these trees around. I don't know. I just feel like there's a really good psychological horror, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, I agree.
Yeah, I'm leaning more towards in their mind as well.
I like the end where they find the body and they said, at the moment we touched the body, there rose from its surface the loud sound of humming. And then in a few lines later, it says, it was exactly as though we had disturbed some living yet invisible creatures at work. And then the sand, what do they call them? Funnels? Like in the skin. It's like, well.
What do you guys think of the man in the boat that passed them and he was like screaming and like waving his hands? Like, do you think he was also having a similar experience and that's why he was fleeing?
Maybe he's the dead guy.
I don't know. It was so creepy.
He wasn't there at all. Because it reminded, like, I feel like it not flashback, but made me flash back to that when they eventually reached that point where they were like, okay, we have to leave right now, get in the boat and leave. And I was like, maybe that's what that guy was doing, if he was there at all.
Yeah, either that or I was thinking like, since it did seem like there was some sort of local superstitions, maybe he was trying to warn them about that.
Mm-hmm.
But then I'm just still not even convinced that he was really there. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, or he could have been like a fallen tree with like branches sticking out, drifting down.
True.
Yeah.
Or was a dead guy. I could see that.
Yeah.
Just very like disorienting.
Definitely.
What's in that cup, girl?
It's coffee. Okay. But I don't know. I just really liked how it was just messing with them in their head, and then he was like fighting to explain every little thing, even though he knew it was like completely unreasonable. But this quote also, an explanation of some kind was an absolute necessity, just as some working explanation of the universe is necessary to the happiness of every individual who seeks to do his duty in the world and face the problems of life. I don't know. I just like that quote.
I like that too.
And yeah, their dynamic was really funny where he was just like explaining everything away and the other guy's like, no, like, what are you talking about?
That's why I thought it was so funny. He's like, he has no imagination. And he's like, this guy has no imagination. He'll give me an explanation. And he's like, no, he's like, this is a thin place and we might be disturbing some beings.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was funny. It also seemed like the Swede had some sort of like transformation though. Like initially he wasn't discussing that. And then like after the first night, he was like gung-ho, ready to talk all about it.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like,
which makes you feel like maybe it's not all in their heads, because like, why would they have switched so quickly?
Right.
I really thought, because at one point they talk about how like they can't think about this thing and they just have to give it another victim. I was fully expecting one of them to sacrifice the other.
Yeah.
And I was like, who's it gonna be? But that never came, which, you know, good for them. But I was kind of surprised that it didn't go in that direction.
Well, because the Swede walks out, right? Like he was going to sacrifice himself and give it a victim.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think he was like overcome by something because he didn't know what he was doing. But
Yeah.
he was gonna just get washed away by the river. I'm trying to find this quote that I like.
So I know that their relationship wasn't explicitly said. How do you think they knew each other? What do you think their dynamic was outside of the story?
It did cross my mind that they might have been lovers.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I always think of first.
I mean, some down low men on their river expedition.
Mm-hmm.
Romantic little trip.
Running away together. Got sidetracked.
Sleeping in the same tent.
Oh,
You know,
that's okay.
like cuddle for warmth, even though it's July.
There's only one tent trope instead of
Yeah.
there's only one bed.
Exactly. There was only one boat.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, is this a Oscar Wilde situation?
Oh.
You know.
Yeah, if he wrote the Willows. I was thinking they were kind of okay, yeah, gay first, but second, and realistically, I was like, okay, that's just me. And then I was like, okay, they're probably like coworkers because they didn't seem to know each other too well. Like you said, the differences about like this guy has no imagination over here, and I'm sure that like that makes me think that their conversation didn't go that deep, as into like religion and what their beliefs are, etc. You know.
I could see that. Or I feel like if they were both just kind of like explorers, and maybe they just came together and met in this place and then were like, let's go canoeing together. I
can see that.
They know each other for very long.
Adventure buddies, where they like kind of just know each other to do usual trips or something.
Mm-hmm. Something like that.
One shouldn't hike their canoe alone.
True. Going back to like the beings, I guess they thought they were seeing or perceiving. I thought it was interesting the way that I feel like it was kind of hinted that they're more like from a different dimension.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what
really unique.
Really reminded me of the cosmic horror because there was a lot of talk about old gods. And then one quote, they even said, the gods are here if they are anywhere at all in the world. And then what you said about like he'd like to look into different religions and stuff, the author, I feel like that definitely shows up a lot in here.
Yeah, in the introduction too, she compares it to the hollow places.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then she says Blackwood's intimations of unseen predators are fleshed out literally into terrifying illustrations of what happens when we are unfortunate enough to attract the attention of of cosmic others. And it says some dangers are not about us. We simply encounter them amid shifting islands on our way to somewhere else.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it could have been like, yeah, some otherworldly being or presence, or it could have just been their own fears and anxieties.
Yeah, I mean, it's so super easy to get freaked out, like if you're by yourself in nature, even during the day, where it's just like, so.
Yeah,
Definitely.
not other people around.
Or, flooding. You don't have all that extra. And then what is it? The porridge or the bread all went missing.
Oh yeah.
Like you just ate it, I bet.
Probably the animal ate it. The otter.
It was all the otters the whole time. I mean, they are on this cover, so.
Yeah. Let's dissect that. Like, are they? What if the otters?
The
Whoa.
otters are the gods.
Right.
Why not?
That's crazy. Then why doesn't mine have otters on it? You're
Stylistic choice. There are giant otters in the river in South America, reaching up to 1.8 meters. So almost 2 meters. That's a big, so yeah, body sized. More than body sized.
Dang. That's crazy.
Had to look it up.
Did it say where this took place? Danube River.
Then yeah, is that
In Europe.
Is it Europe?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like it goes through a bunch of different countries, right? Something like
Yeah,
that.
they start in Vienna, so like Austria.
All right, because when I was leaving Vienna.
Mhm.
And before you come to Budapest, which I don't know geographically where that is.
I'm bad at geography, but I think nearby.
They should have put a map. This is where we are. Wonder if the gigantic otters could have been over there.
Wait, no,
Yeah.
it's like they just made their way over there. Swam.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that the most I guess tangible example that the gods or beings or whatever could have been real was those like funnels or holes, like or holes in the sand. That's just so random.
Well, yeah, but you've never seen the sand funnels though, at the beach. Like sometimes they do sink down because a crab or something's under there, and they do kind of funnel down a little bit.
Huh, I guess I haven't seen that before.
So
Periwinkle.
I was like, oh, if they saw that, then it could have just been something their mind was.
Yeah.
True.
But then what happened to their boat? What left that crack in the boat? And then they saw something on the body, right? They saw the marks of the old god.
Yeah.
Now,
I don't know.
I think a gigantic otter tried to get in the boat. No, I'm just joking. Yeah, that's definitely something to think about.
I was worried for them though when they he was describing their campsite before going to bed, and he was like, the paddles are underneath the boat or whatever. And I was like, okay, it's flooding? What if your boat floats away during the night?
Right.
I was very concerned for them.
Take it with you, perhaps. That's what I would think. Your keys. You're not going to leave your keys just by your car. That's what I'm thinking.
They left the boat by the river?
I'm sure they pulled it up a little bit, but still.
You'd think they would have really pulled it up, attached it to something
Right.
Yeah.
We need to get these men on the phone.
Also, with your illustration, in their little suits and their hats.
I know, that's not proper
travel. Canoe trip going camping. You're really going to wake up and put on a 3-piece suit in the morning?
Right. But I'm I wonder if that's what people really did wear that during that time.
Because back, you know how there was formal safari dress, if you watch the Tarzan and all that, how she's in her tie and her vest and her skirt,
I'm just glad
her
that's
hat.
not,
So I know.
Checks out.
reality anymore.
Now, why were they doing all because like now that you said Tarzan, now I'm thinking about that. Why would you wear like a full ball gown into the
It was proper.
That's crazy.
Yep.
That is.
Can you imagine, like, this is totally side tangent, but like how bad people must have smelled? I think about that a lot, and I'm like, you're getting down and dirty, and everybody's like gross and stinky and sweaty because they're wearing like all these layers.
Yeah, it's real gross.
But I also wonder, like, do you just get used to it? You just go nose blind.
That part.
Yeah, because I mean, you don't know anything different, but I'm like, thank God that's not. I mean, you know, I wish men still, you know, wore their fancy hats with their feathers and everything, but at the same time, I'm also glad that that's not a thing.
Also, it wasn't as hot back then, too.
True.
Yeah. So they probably were sweaty and they probably were stinky. Because didn't they not take a bath every day?
Yeah, they didn't bathe every day, and then they also didn't have, you know, like a lot of the products that we have now that
Right.
actually help clean.
I just think about this, like the humidity, because they're just like in a flood and they're just wet and gross.
Yeah, it's so sticky.
Yeah.
You can feel it.
Feels like home.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Florida.
go right inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so. Let me not go on about the weather because every time we get on here, I talk about the weather. Let me just not start with that.
I'm glad to be away from that. RIP to you.
It's okay. I'm going to the pool after I mow the lawn.
Nice.
Hopefully, I'll see some otters.
Cool.
My aunt lives down there and she has a covered, screened-in pool, and I'm like,
Whoa.
Delicious.
that's life. No bugs because you're screened in, and you have like a awning over the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. That's really nice. It
Yeah,
probably
it's-
like. Is it? Yeah. Is it covered or is it like the screen is the cover on the top? It doesn't have a roof, I guess.
It does have a roof, yeah.
Okay.
Like, I don't know. I've only been there once. It's pretty small, but I thought it was pretty cool. I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds nice.
You do not get screened in pools here. We don't get pools generally that much either. So,
Yeah, that makes sense. Because my neighbor
Angel,
was.
where are you?
Minnesota.
Minnesota. That's what I thought. Because I knew the rest of us were East Coast, right?
No, I'm in Washington.
Oh, Washington. Yeah, for some reason I thought you were like somewhere on the East Coast, but
No.
no wonder we're the hot ones over here. Hot temperature ones. Does it get hot over there?
Sometimes it's been like high 70s the past few days.
Is that
Uh-huh.
Not really that hot, but that's like hot here.
Is that hot for you guys?
I don't know. I mean, Connecticut gets pretty warm in the summer. We've gotten to the high 90s. Feels like temperature's 100 and something already. So
Jeez.
it gets not like Florida, but
It definitely can get that hot here. It's just like not usual.
and it gets humid here too, which is like
Oh my gosh, your state is so small.
I know, right?
Not as small as that other one. What is that, Rhode Island?
Rhode Island.
Rhode Island.
Oh my god.
Rhode Island's the smallest state.
Yeah,
And
I know. Oh, never mind. I was about to dox my job. Let me just.
yeah, don't do that.
I'm done talking.
This is so random, but do any of you guys watch The Real Housewives?
I have in the past, but not currently.
Mhm.
Okay. They just are coming out with a Rhode Island like version of it.
I wanted the Real Housewives of like Simsbury or something in Connecticut, because there are some crazy rich places here.
Yeah, they should do that. That'd be fun.
My aunt is one of them. She needs to be on there.
Nice.
What
It's
do
all
they
like,
do?
you know, very plastic surgery and blonde and
Yeah.
It's so interesting to see something
McMansion,
like
you know.
Yeah.
something like that. Like they're not a
Both of
person.
her
with
stepkids
a-
went to like private school, like you know, like Chilton.
Wow.
My husband give me
Bougie.
the look like, don't talk about people. She's never going to see this.
Oh no.
Not naming names.
Yeah, we don't know who you're talking about. We just know a relative. That's it.
I feel like, do we have any more book thoughts before we just keep yapping? We can end the live and then keep yapping.
True.
A good
Yeah.
sesh.
I guess I don't have any more book thoughts. It was pretty short, so I think we got it all out there.
I just had one more quote that I liked.
Yeah.
Where they were talking about what was happening and like if they were gonna die. And the one guy says, so one of them says, "Death, you mean?" And he says, "Worse, by far. Death, according to one's belief, means either annihilation or release from the limitations of the senses, but it involves no change of character. You don't suddenly alter just because the body's gone, but this means a radical alteration, a complete change, a horrible loss of oneself by substitution, far worse than death, and not even annihilation." Which I just feel like kind of adds to the psychological horror of it all, because it's like, I don't know, what do you mean it's worse than death? And then he describes it and you're like, oh yeah, that is kind of worse. Because at least if you're dead, you're just gone. You don't have to deal with it anymore.
That's an interesting quote too, because it's like, where did they even get that idea from? That's like what was going to happen.
Yeah. I don't know. It's all in the head. That was the last thing that I wanted to share.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in. And I guess we're probably going to be reading Wuthering Heights for the next quarter. And we know who's going to be hosting. Have we decided that?
We did that yet. It's either me or Alicia, but we can figure it out.
Yeah, TBD. We'll announce that later.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.